An investigation in the UK just wrapped up, concluding the death of a British citizen here in North Texas was unlawful.
Lucy Harrison was shot in the chest. It happened in January of 2025. Her father told police his gun accidentally fired and hit her. The Collin County DA's office declined to comment on the case, but there were no charges. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has more on the case, making headlines here and abroad. Amelia.
Heather, Casey, gun laws in the U.S., specifically here in Texas, are very different from England. In regard to the police investigation, no criminal charges were filed and no arrests were made. However, since the victim was a UK citizen, she's entitled to an investigation according to the law in England and Wales. In the UK report released this week, based off of the evidence, that report found 23-year-old Lucy Harrison's death an unlawful killing. In January 2025, 23-year-old Lucy Harrison came to visit her dad in Prosper. The UK native never returned home. She was shot in the chest inside her father's home and died at the hospital.
Okay.
Body camera footage shows what her father, Chris Harrison, told Prosper police that day.
Getting ready to go to the airport and we were talking about guns, and she said, "You got a gun?" I said, "Yes." I got it out and it just went off as she stood there. As I pulled it out, it went off.
The Prosper Police Department told Fox 4 after it completed its investigation, it sent it to the Collin County District Attorney's Office for further review. A grand jury issued a no bill on the case. No arrests were made and no charges were filed. But overseas, a coroner's office was also conducting an inquest, a sort of fact-finding process, into the death of Lucy Harrison since she was a citizen of the UK. The report released Wednesday raised concerns about his alcohol use that day and said he took no steps to even familiarize himself with the weapon to enable him to check it was safe. The coroner concluded her death was a tragic accident, but also unlawful.
They specifically say that they are.
So I'm not gonna stop too much. So basically, he should have been charged with manslaughter. That seems reasonable to me. If you handle a gun, your gun, and for some reason, unless it's faulty and they prove it's faulty, if it goes off while you're holding it because you're not properly handling it, and you kill somebody, I can completely see manslaughter. But they might have been able to prove that the weapon itself was faulty.
Applying the laws of England. And so, it's kind of like if this event were to happen there, then the outcome may be different.
Russell Wilson is a former Dallas County prosecutor. He notes accidental deaths are prosecuted on a case-by-case basis, and not all result in criminal charges.
Regardless, the person responsible has to live with the consequences of their actions, whether they're labeled criminal or civil or nothing at all.
Texan laws on guns are so different to England.
Lucy Harrison's mother addressed the press after the coroner's inquest was released.
It results in too many deaths in the USA. Furthermore, it is my and Sam's strongly held view that the US investigation led by the Prosper Police Department lacked the rigour and scrutiny you'd expect if this had happened in the UK. Lucy deserved better.
In our conversation, Russell Wilson said it's unlikely that the UK will pursue a criminal trial because the shooting happened here on U.S. soil, and it is the local law enforcement that takes the lead in terms of prosecution. However, the case can move forward in the civil courts, and civil lawsuits can be filed. We did reach out to Chris Harrison for any comment or statement, but we have not heard back.
Now, this is a crazy situation. Let's go over to this next video where we actually get to see the full body cam footage they was mentioning.
No. So what's that? She was just about to go to the airport.
Who is she to y'all?
That's our daughter.
Okay.
It's my daughter.
Okay.
And we were getting ready to go to the airport and we were talking about guns, and she said, "You got a gun?" I said, "Yes." I got it out and it just went off as she stood there. As I pulled it out, it went off.
Okay.
It must have been, obviously.
Did you put the gun on the bed?
I put it on the bed straight away, yeah.
Where was it at?
It was in the bedside cabinet.
Okay, you have like a little. You just keep it in there.
In a locked box. In a lockbox.
Okay.
And we took it out to look, and just as I picked it up, it went off.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll have you step over here, and we'll all come over here. Okay.
Sorry.
Are they involved?
Can he go? Somebody go.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. I got you. Yep. Here, let's just. I just want to. So if they have to come out, because there's like
Because
9.
they're about to go back to England, so she's not.
Well, she's not going there.
Okay.
Now, let me say this. Just from how his reaction is, I would think that I would be more distraught. That's just me. But he could be in shock. It could be a lot of instances why he's acting like this. But I think I would be truly distraught and barely even able to understand what I did or how to react. I might just be frozen in a state of grief for what I just did. But everybody reacts differently to intense situations.
Are you?
This is her boyfriend.
Okay, boyfriend. Okay.
Baylor Spot White, please hear him. Give me all three.
Yep, we got it. More than likely, honestly, she's probably going to go to Plano. Based on the injury. It'll be THR Plano.
Okay.
More than likely. I'll tell you here shortly.
Do you know if she's bleeding or?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So, okay. Hey, Lucy, can somebody come in?
Today's outcome has finally given Lucy her voice back after what has been an unrelenting year of deep shock, grief and fight. Fight with quiet yet focused, steely determination to allow Lucy to speak her truth in the only way that she now can. At an inquest, whilst we recognise that an unlawful killing outcome has been decided in a coroner's court and not a criminal one, we welcome the coroner's conclusion and thank her for exploring all of the evidence fairly, as fully as she could, and fearlessly for Lucy.
Now at 4 o'clock.
Now this is a tragic situation. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole thing. Let's get over into it. So, as we know, in January 2025, Lucy Harrison, a 23-year-old British woman, was fatally shot in the chest by her father, Chris Harrison, during a visit to his home in Texas. The shooting occurred on the same day the two had a big argument regarding President-elect Donald Trump. The argument, according to testimony from Lucy's boyfriend, the pair argued about Trump's sexual assault allegations. When Lucy asked how he would feel if she had been a victim, her father reportedly replied that it wouldn't upset him as much because he had two other daughters. The shooting later that day, Chris Harrison took Lucy into his bedroom to show her a Glock 9mm handgun. He claimed the weapon discharged accidentally as he lifted it. So Harrison, a recovering alcoholic, admitting to relapsing that day and drinking white wine before the shooting. So Texas grand jury. So in June 2025, a Collin County grand jury declined to indict Chris Harrison and no criminal charges were filed against the United States. So the UK inquest, this is where, so in February 2026, a British court ruled the death in unlawful killing. Senior coroner Jacqueline concluded that Harrison had pointed the gun at his daughter at chest height and pulled the trigger, describing his action as grossly negligent and reprehensible. That is crazy now. Think about that. Because anybody who's trained with guns know that no matter if it's loaded, unloaded, anything, you never point the gun at someone. That is just a common thing for people who know how to handle guns. You never point the gun at someone. Loaded or not, you just want to get into that habit. You never put your hand on the trigger. But he's saying that it just fired, basically it just went off. I would like to know if they looked at the gun itself to see if it was malfunctioning, if it just goes off. Or did he accidentally put his hand on the trigger and pull it while pointing it at her chest? That's why I'm thinking manslaughter I could understand manslaughter. But this is a crazy situation. It's a tragic situation. I still think I would have been more distraught, or it's a tragic situation. But at the end of the day, let me know your thoughts. He's not going to be charged because you can't be charged again for the same crime. So he's never going to be charged in the United States for this. But let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. An argument over Trump. He says some crazy things, and then he goes into the room to show him the gun. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on it, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.